Hello and welcome to your first dose of Dude's Comic Book Goodness of 2014. I'm Jason. This is my weekly video where I review the books that I've picked up this week. Usually I will review the latest episode of Arrow and also share with you some of the good things I found in comics this week. No Arrow review this week as it's on hiatus until, well, here in the UK we don't get a new episode till February. So in the interim, because of that, I'm going to be doing a DVD review today. I picked up for Christmas and I watched it last night, Iron Man 3, so I will be reviewing that later. But first things first, we're going to review the comics I picked up this week. 7 new books this week. 3 were from Image, 3 were from DC Comics, and 1 was from Marvel Comics. So without further ado, let's get to those reviews. So first up this week we have a book that came out last year. It is issue number 26 of Wonder Woman. When I dropped some books, this was one of the ones I dropped because I decided I'm going to pick up from now on books that I regularly collect or books that I feel are in danger. They're the books I'm going to collect monthly. Anything else I'm going to buy in trade. So Wonder Woman was one of the books because I've really enjoyed this run, but I've never really been a big fan of Wonder Woman before. So I decided, this was one of the ones I was going to drop, but this was also the book I missed the most. I really missed picking up Wonder Woman, and this book's really turning me into a fan of the character, because I really enjoyed this. So I think I've decided, there's no thinking about it, I've decided I'm going to pick this book up again now. I picked up issue 25, which I'd missed, and I also picked up this at the same time, the latest issue, issue 26. Once again, love that cover. There have been some really good covers for this series, but this is just another example. The main thing in this issue that I really enjoyed is seeing Stripe's plan come together. She's still really angry at Wonder Woman for having killed the God of War. So she's got some kind of plot going on, and it seems the first part of that plot is to strip Wonder Woman of a support network, of her friends, of a group that she surrounded herself with in this book. So we see a lot of characters kind of depart this issue, break away from Wonder Woman, and kind of stripping the cast down a little bit. Bad things are still happening to the Firstborn in Olympus, and at the moment I just cannot wait till he gets loose, because he's going to lay off the smack of down on Apollo once he gets loose, because they're doing some really brutal things to him. I love in this book though how Wonder Woman is written. You can see there's that caring side, her hopes for humanity and how she sees the best in them, but at the same time there's that badass warrior side that will kick ass if needs be, which I really like. And you can really understand, reading this, why Wonder Woman and Superman would become a couple, because they both have the same kind of outlook and same kind of hopes for humanity, but they're both outsiders. So I really, so I think you can see why they'd make a good couple, and I just really love how they write the Wonder Woman character. The art in here by Goram Suzuka I really liked as well. I thought that was really cool. And all in all, it was just another really good issue. Keeps the story ticking along. I think if you kind of jump in aboard, you might find it unspectacular if you're just jumping on here. But if you've been reading it since issue 1 and you've seen the story build every issue, then I think you'll enjoy it just like you've enjoyed every other issue. And I give Wonder Woman issue number 26 5 stars. So next up we have Manhattan Projects issue number 17. This issue, I enjoyed that we get an explanation for the monster that we saw last issue. And once again, the use of colour in this book is just superb. The way that the flashback scenes are always coloured in red and blue, and then we have our normal palette for the current scenes, makes it a real easy reading experience, as you instantly know, oh yeah, that's a flashback. So yeah, that was really cool. It is kind of still like a base under siege. I'm a bit disappointed in that it feels like the book isn't moving forward. It feels like they've been locked up for quite a few issues now, and surely by now, if you lock the Smudge people in a cell, by now they would have come up with a plan. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it. I like this monster. The voice of the monster was fantastic, and really unexpected. And I really like how the characters are written in here, and some of the zany stuff that is still happening. and you know, particularly with the way that the book ended, it has me really waiting with bated breath for when next issue comes out, because I really want to see the resolution of this story. And I give issue number 17 of the Manhattan Project still a really good book, and I give it 4 stars. So next up we have The Flash, issue number 26. This issue was a bit of a strange one. Our regular creative team have left the book. Francis Manapul and Brian Fucciolato, their last issue was issue 25. So this issue we get a one-off story written by Christos Gage with art by Neil Googe. And the story is a totally retro feel. It feels like an episode of Batman, the 60s TV show. The structure of it is all very much set up like that, where the villain overcomes Flash twice, but then the third time Flash manages to outfox them and save the day. Even the villain has that kind of feel like they'd fit into that 60s TV show. The villain in this one's Spitfire, and she's like a pirate of the airways, where she robs planes, and yeah, would totally fit in with those films. The way she isn't so over the top, it definitely would fit in with that TV show. So it felt a bit odd in that respect, though it was still good. And I like that they write Barry really well. His character feels consistent with what we've been reading. I also really like the way that they show off his powers, that it isn't, the Speed Force doesn't make him run fast, that there's other things that he can do. So yeah, there were good things here, and the art, though I didn't like how they drew the main character, the art did grow on me, and I liked the colouring of the book as well. It really added to that tone of that retro-y kind of tone of the 60s TV show. It was quite a bright book. So all in all, yeah, I'd say it was good. I wouldn't say it's a good place to jump on. It doesn't represent what we've had so far in The Flash. I am worried about the future of this book, because they've announced Brian Buccellato is coming back for 3 issues, but no long-term writer has been announced as far as I know. With the TV show coming up, I think this is a worrying thing. You would think that they would be throwing one of their best writers at this book right now, with the TV show coming up in the new year. Well, we're in the new year now, aren't we? Yeah, coming up this year, the TV show. You'd think that they would be looking to keep this book strong, but yeah. But yeah, this was a good, if unspectacular issue, and I give Flash issue number 26 4 stars. Next up we have Savage Wolverine, issue number 13 from Marvel Comics, and this is part 2 of a 2-part story, which is called Come Conquer the Beasts. It's set around a story around poaching. Wolverine can talk to the animals, it seems, and he's befriended an elephant, and this elephant has been hunted for its ivory, and the herd has been thinned out as people are killing them for the ivory. He traces them back to Mandapore and to Tiger, who he thinks is going to help him, but then she betrays him. This is where this issue picks up. There's some fantastic dialogue between Wolverine and Tiger, as Tiger calls him out and like, well, come on Wolverine, the amount of people you've killed, you know, you're not exactly the moral majority here. So I like that got pointed out, and there was some really, like I say, really nice dialogue. The book does have a message to say, and does have a lot to say, which I like, I admire. It's nice to read a book that makes you think about things sometimes, you know, and that is nice that they have a message there that they want to get across. Some of the elements of the story, like that Wolverine can talk to the elephants, even though they do kind of explain it, it didn't quite work for me. And even while I did support the message of the book, and I certainly like that Tiger's motives, that it added a shade of grey to it, because she was doing what she believed was the right thing, you know, and so like even Wolverine couldn't fault her reasons for doing what she's doing, even though he didn't like what she was doing. He couldn't fault her reasons for it, and I liked that there was all that shade of grey. It wasn't all black and white, and he did take you away, and it made me think. But all in all, a good book. I was 50-50 on the art. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't. But all in all, I liked this book. It made me think, which isn't a bad thing. And I give Savage Wolverine issue number 13 4 stars. So next up this week we move over to Image Comics now, as we have Rocket Girl issue number 3. This issue was a really quick read. I whizzed through this, and I don't know if it was because the story was so good, because I did really enjoy it, or if it was because it is a shorter issue. But yeah, I whizzed through this one. It was a really good read. There's some lovely twists in this one. Characters that we kind of seen in the first issue kind of return, but the way they return is really surprising and cool. And the ending, the cliffhanger at the end, is just, oh wow, I cannot wait to the next issue. This book is really turning into something special, and I'm really enjoying it. To add to that, you've got Amy Reeder's fantastic art, which is beautifully coloured, and you've just got a real joy of a book. And I give Rocket Girl issue number 3 a whopping 5 stars. So next up we have Clone issue number 13 from Image Comics. This story, it fits so much into every issue. You can never kind of accuse this book of standing still, because it always moves forward so much. They cram so much into each issue. It's just phenomenal, and the events happen so much. There's some great twists as always. I really like this new villain, because like they're bringing the religious aspect in now to it. That, you know, as would be people are kind of like against the clones because they see it as abomination in God's name, that God created man and now man's created man, and that's wrong. So I like that kind of dynamic they're adding in there, and I think that's really cool. And the way that they've gone since it's kind of become common knowledge now about the clones, I really like that. I think they've done some really good things there in the story. Again, there's a shocking death in this issue, and this is one of the things that the book does so well. Is it has that vibe like Walking Dead, when nobody is safe. You know, theoretically, they could kill off anybody in this book, because nobody is safe. You think a character's safe, and you get attached to that character, or you're interested in that character, and then next thing you know, they're dead. So it does create that kind of on the edge kind of feel all the way through. The art, once again, here is just superb. I think the artist on the book, whose name I cannot pronounce, Juan Jose Ripe, I think his name is, but I could be wrong. His name, I could be wrong. But his artwork has just got better and better as the series has gone on, and I'm really loving this book. I think it's a crying shame more people aren't reading it, because it is a fantastic book. If you've got a spare few quid, go on Amazon, pick up the first trade. You will not be disappointed. It's a fantastic, it's kind of like a thriller with an element of sci-fi in there. But yeah, I'm just absolutely loving the book, totally hooked on it, and I give Clone issue number 13 5 stars. So next we have Justice League Dark issue number 26 from DC Comics, which features part 6 of the Fateful Blight storyline. I was a bit concerned about the whole Blight story, because it's going to be 18 issues long, and I was a bit concerned because I know Marvel books that have gone on like 10 or 12 issues, and they have really dragged in parts, and I was a bit concerned how they were going to make this one last. If this issue is any indication, I can now have a bit more hope and see how they're going to do that, as they kind of look like they're going to have to go on a quest to build a team to beat Blight. So I could kind of dig that as each issue maybe they get another member of the team. I could see then how they could make this last. Otherwise, if they're going to keep fighting Blight and get their ass kicked and go away and come up with another plan, that's going to get a bit repetitive, a bit boring. So I'm hoping I'm right and this is the direction they're going to take. This issue was another really great issue. Mikko Yanin's art is just superb. And he's another artist who you don't hear many people talk about, but his artwork is just brilliant, and once again here, he does great work. I don't understand why always in the Justice League books we have so many inkers, but it doesn't affect the art in this book, so that's a good thing. Really love J.M. DeMatteis's writing, how he writes the characters, in particular characters like Phantom Stranger and Constantine. He writes them really well, and I really enjoyed that. The story itself as well was really great, with some nice twists and turns, and like I say, it reaffirmed my hope in the Blight storyline, and I give Justice League Dark issue number 26 5 stars. Hello and welcome to my review of Iron Man 3. Was really looking forward to reviewing this one. I've only seen this film previously once before, that was in the cinema, and initially I was disappointed, and I think one of the things was I enjoyed Avengers so much, my expectations for this film were so high. So coming into it, I think, it didn't meet those expectations. So I was really looking forward to watching it a second time without those expectations, and I've got to admit, I think I enjoyed it a lot more the second time. The way I'm going to structure this review is I'm going to get through the bad stuff first, and then I'm going to move on to the good stuff before I wrap things up. First off, the bad points of the film, the things I didn't enjoy. Iron Man killing. He just killed too many people in this film. In the comics, yet you have characters like the Punisher, like Deadpool, like Wolverine, who kill, and they have no compunction about killing. If it needs to be done, they'll do it. But Iron Man has never been one of those characters that kills people. And, okay, Avengers, it was war. They were defending the Earth against these aliens. So it was war. So, yeah, you could get away with Iron Man would kill in those circumstances. But in this point, I just didn't feel that the character, with all what he preaches, would go out there and be killing people randomly like this. And I just felt a bit uncomfortable with that. And I don't know if that's because I'm becoming a bit of an old fogey and a bit miserable. Or if it was a genuine issue with the film, but it was just something that I wasn't 100% comfortable with. There was also, I found a bit confused about the whole extremist thing, about what actually killed people who had the extremists inside them, because we saw sometimes they'd have their limbs chopped off, they'd have be blown up, and they'd come out of it okay, and they'd heal, and then other times explosions would kill them off, and I wasn't quite sure what was the difference. What was it that actually kills somebody with extremis? And I did feel that a bit confused by that, and I felt that could have been wrapped up a bit nicely with some dialogue. The post-credit sequence was a bit disappointing. Previous post-credit sequences have always pushed the story on towards the next film that's coming out from Marvel Studios. This time, yeah, it was funny, and it was nice seeing that character turn up, but it was disappointing in the extent that it didn't really push the story on for the next film. The whole Mandarin thing, I liked how Ben Kingsley played his role. I thought he was great casting. But the twist with him in the middle of the film did leave me a bit... While I think he played the character really well and was funny, it was a twist that I didn't quite like. But then there's a second twist with that, and the real identity of the Mandarin at the end of the film, I think, made up for that. So that goes then from a bad point to being a good point, because I did like how they tie that all in with Killian's character and his idea and his plot. So I liked that in the end. So yeah, that worked. That went from a bad point to a good point. The good point now is, once again, great casting from Marvel Studios or Disney, whoever made these now. Great casting. Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin is brilliant. Guy Pearce plays a fantastic villain, which I absolutely love. I think he's definitely the best villain we've had in the Iron Man movies thus far. Gwyneth Paltrow, once again, is really likeable as Pepper Potts. Jon Favreau pops up with a bigger role as Happy Hogan, which I was really glad to see him. And he provides a bit of comic relief, but kind of like they did with Coulson in Avengers, when something bad happens to that character, you care because you've been laughing with him. And I think that's a nice technique that they use in the films. And also, Robert Downey Jr. for me once again stole the show as Iron Man. He was just superb. He has this character down so well. And yeah, he's got this arrogance there about him and this cocky swagger. But at the same time, there's that humanity there. There's that, that really I think works well. He gets that balance right that makes you like the character. Because I think he could easily be a character you dislike. But he's a flawed character, and you like seeing how he overcomes his flaws. This film as well, I really like. They strip away support network. Gunner Jarvis, Gunner his suits of armor until the end. Even the characters that are always there for him are gone, and he kind of has to find his way on his own. And you get to see the man behind the hero. And I like there's one sequence where he has to attack this mansion of the Mandarin, and there's all these guards. And like Tony isn't like a commando type dude. Somebody like Wolverine or Captain America could go in there unarmed, and take out all the guards. Tony Stark's not that type of person, but he builds all these different weapons that help him get into the mansion, that take out the guards, and I really like that sequence. It really shows, that character off really well. Another character that was really great to see have a better role in this film was James Rhodes, played by Don Cheadle. I thought he was really good. He makes a great sidekick kind of thing for Iron Man, because you've got Tony's always like joking, and he's a bit more serious, so he plays a great straight man. I thought they had some great scenes together. I also, coming into the film, I did not like that we had Iron Patriot now instead of War Machine, but the way they explain it in the film makes total sense, and I had no problem with it. Like I said, Guy Pearce is a fantastic villain. Really enjoyed him as a villain. And Marvel just seemed to hit on this winning formula of that they get enough comedy, enough action, and you get these real sad moments and twists as well that you care about because you've been laughing with the characters. So yeah, all in all, I enjoyed this a lot more on the second viewing. Yeah, there were still problems with it for me. It felt very much like the final Iron Man film. If this was a trilogy, it definitely feels like the last movie as it rounds a lot of stuff off. If this is Robert Downey's last solo movie, he's done a great job with the character and a great job with the role. And like I say, I really enjoyed this on the second viewing, and I give Iron Man 3 4 stars. Well, hello, this is usually the part of the video where I share with you the good stuff I found in comics this week. But with it being New Year's and everything, there hasn't really been a whole lot for me to share with you that I've seen. I know next week, book-wise, it's going to be a big week for me. I will be picking up 11 books, which is the biggest number of books I've picked up for some while. And I've really been pleased with that, because I'd got down to like where I was buying 10 books most weeks, where now I kind of got my numbers down to like 6 or 8 most weeks. And then there's an occasional week like this where I pick up 11. So I'm really pleased with that. I've cut down. It's a tough thing though. You cut your books down, and then there's more books coming out, and you get tempted to pick them up, and you find yourself back in the spot where you started from. So I've really been pleased that I've managed to not pick up extra books, but then I have picked up graphic novels instead. So I don't know. I don't know how much I've really saved, but I know on some of the trades I've picked up, I've got some really good prices. So yeah, next week, because there's going to be 11 books, there'll probably be no DVD review, because it's going to take 11 books. If I did like each review is like 2 minutes, and each book you're talking 22 minutes there. So I don't think there'll be no review next week, DVD review. There's less books the following week, so probably expect a DVD review then. Which I think the next one I'm going to be doing is Man of Steel, so that'll be in 2 weeks. Yeah, I've got behind once again on my Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel collection, but I've nearly finished the current one I'm reading. When I finish that, there'll be a review up for that. So yes, expect a new Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novels review soon. Here in the UK, we've had a lot of these part works get released, and the company that released the Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel collection have released a new set, and I'm kind of like thinking it's totally insane. They've where Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel was set around the best actual graphic novels that Marvel have done. This one is set around the different heroes. So the first one is the Avengers, and you get an Avengers story. Once again, they look great quality. I just think it's totally insane when you've got one collection already in the running, and it isn't going to end, I think, until about April. You've got that already running, and then I think it's April or May, somewhere around there it finishes. But then you launch a new one as well, and I would have probably been interested in picking up the new one just because I like the presentation of them. But nah, I'm not going to pick that one up because I'm already in this one. I get the Doctor Who figurine collection as well, so I'm two's enough for me. So yeah, I'm not going to pick up that new one. They've also bought out a Marvel chess set kind of thing that you collect every week. That again looks really cool, but I'm not a big chess player, so I'm going to give that one a miss. And they've also bought a Star Wars fact file out, which once again, I'm going to avoid that one because I find these things, they just build up and take up so much space. And like I say, I think my main one I'm going to be collecting is the Doctor Who figurine collection. I'm going to keep getting that one, and finish off my Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel collection. That's me. But I was just really surprised that they brought out another new book series when they've already got one going. I thought that was insane. I thought, why didn't they wait until the one had finished? I don't know. maybe January is just a good month for that to launch these kind of things, because every January we get a load of them come out here in the UK. So anywho, that's me rambling on enough for now. Thank you as always very much for watching. Thank you for everybody who's been commenting on my videos, really appreciate it. I will be back next week with another dose of Dude's comic book goodness, as I review the 11 books that I'll be picking up, and hopefully we'll have found some good stuff for me to share with you. All in all, that's me done for now. All that's left for me to say is thank you very much as always for watching. I've been Jason, and this has been Dude's comic book goodness. Bye for now.